It is time to fight Bishop, aka Lucas Bishop, which is a very convenient name if you are a superhero and you don't want to try to remember two different names that you get called by. So, let's see what this is like. This is kind of a weird fight. I think that this is more Lord of the Ringsy, where you're trying to progress through a series of quests before you actually fight the apocalypse. You go from Heart of the Empire into the Towering Citadel, onto the Towering Throne, and then you make him no longer worthy. So if I'm understanding this correctly, the Age of Apocalypse main scheme isn't actually like the main scheme that you're focusing on. But when it does complete, you move on from Apocalypse 2 to Apocalypse 3 to Apocalypse 4, and if you want to make it easier for yourself, you could start with Apocalypse 1. And it doesn't matter which apocalypse you're on, you are just trying to kill Apocalypse either way once you get to no longer worthy. That's all that matters. However, letting Apocalypse change from 2 to 3 to 4 is obviously bad because he has higher stats. So, every time we change the side scheme here, we also get a different prelate minion coming out engage with us. So we have to choose a random one. I'm going to roll a dice. If I roll a 6, I will just re-roll. So that's going to be 2. We are going to start with the Shadow King engage with us. They have Toughness. Villainous 3. Apocalypse also has Toughness. Villainous 3, Shadow King engages the first player. Force response after the Shadow King attacks you. Choose an ally you control with the highest dort. Either discard the ally or place threat on the main scheme equal to its dort. Ouch. Okay. That kinda sucks. And Apocalypse has Steady, Toughness, and Force Interrupt when the main scheme would be completed. Remove all threats from it, ignoring any crisis icons. Remove this card from the game and reveal Apocalypse 3. Apocalypse 3 is the same thing, which will reveal Apocalypse 4, and Apocalypse 4 says that you just lose if the main scheme completes at that point. So, let's get started. I think that it is finally time to do some suit-up nonsense with the Sidekick. I keep talking about wanting to make a Sidekick deck, but I never actually do because I haven't actually played Sidekick in a deck it came with yet. So let's finally do that. I don't think that Bishop's signature allies are that interesting in terms of playing Sidekick with them, trying to keep them alive, but we shall see. I could be wrong. I could be incredibly wrong. Let's hope I start with... Ooh... Well, I didn't start with a Sidekick thing, but I did get his uniform, which I think is like his most important card. So I might just keep this. Might go 2 for uniform and then 1 for supercharged, which leaves me with 2 for command authority. No, this makes it so I can't play command authority. I could also just mulligan off 5 of these and hope I get a resource card, which I think I will do. So let's mulligan 5. And then draw back a new hand of 6 to see what I can play this time. There we go, a stored energy for the Bishop's uniform. And then I could use 4 for cable, I guess in this case, and nothing for command authority. So Lucas Bishop has 4 recovery, temporarily displaced. Response after I change to this form. I can add a temporal card from my discard pile to my hand, so I can't do that just yet. Hand size of 6, hit points of 12. And hand size of 5 in hero form, 2/2/1 hit stat line. And energy absorption response. After Bishop takes any amount of damage from an attack, discard an equal number of cards from the top of your deck. Add each resource card discarded this way to your hand. So this is a very resource-heavy deck. You're going to see a lot of resources in this deck. So let's start with the Bishop's uniform. Bishop's uniform has response after I resolve the energy absorption ability. Exhaust Bishop's uniform, heal 1 damage from Bishop for each resource card in your hand. So I could, in theory, take 1 damage and have 4 resources in my hand, and I would heal more damage than I took, which is absolutely bonkers. And then I'm going to use the 4 for Bishop, or for Cable. Cable is a 4-cost ally, 2 thwart, 3 attack, with 2 consequential on the attack, 3 HP. After Cable thwarts and defeats a side scheme, draw 1 card. So he won't probably be defeating any side schemes anytime soon, because the Heart of the Empire cannot have threats removed while a prelate minion is in play. So I first have to defeat the Shadow King in order to actually do that. I can't use command authority at this time, so I think I am just going to discard the command authority. And as for what I am going to do, I think Bishop is going to attack the Shadow King just to get rid of this tough, because I want that tough to be gone, and Cable will thwart 2 from Gene Pool, because if I remember correctly, it's been a while, but if I remember correctly, the infinites have quick strike if Gene Pool has 3 on it, so I want to get rid of that I want to get past that 3 point as soon as possible. So let's draw back our hand of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unfortunately, I did not get a suit up thing, even though there's 3 of them in this deck. Main scheme is going to get 2 because the Heart of the Empire has 1 acceleration icon, and then Apocalypse will attack for 2, and I think I'm just supposed to not block this. So he's attacking for 2. I am oh, let's see my hand first of all. I do have a defense event. I do have a defense event. Oh, yes. Okay. How many? I have 3 resources in my graveyard. Okay. So this card is absolutely bonkers. Energy conversion. When an enemy attacks, shuffle each resource card in your discard pile into your deck. You cannot take more than 3 damage from this attack. I don't really want to have 2 of them in my hand, but that's okay. So I'm going to use my energy conversion, and that means I get to shuffle my 3 energies that were in my graveyard already back into my deck. So the likelihood of me getting a resource card from the, what's it called, energy absorption goes up dramatically. Especially if it's near the end of the game, or near the end of the deck. If my deck is like completely empty, well, if it has 1 card in it, and then I use energy conversion to put all my energies back in, absolutely bonkers. That means I'm guaranteed to just get a bunch of energies, and I can heal for a bunch with Bishop's Uniform, but unfortunately that's not really... I got both of them in my opening hand. But, let's see, so 2 attack... plus star. After this activation resolves, place 1 pursuit countered on pursuit battle pass. So unfortunately, I didn't get the benefit of energy conversion, reducing the amount of damage I would take, but that's okay. So 1 goes on pursuit battle pass. I discard the top 2, or I'm going to take 2 damage, discarding the top 2 cards of my deck, and that's going to give me a stored energy, and the suit up goes in the graveyard. And now I could activate Bishop's Uniform, but I think I'm going to save that for the Shadow King, because the Shadow King is also going to attack. And I'm going to take the 1 damage, so I will discard another card from the top of my deck. And if that gives me another energy, then I get to heal more. So Shadow King is attacking. After he attacks, I choose an ally with the highest stored. Okay, so I am just going to take this 1 damage as well. Discarding 1 card from the top of my deck. That was not an energy, unfortunately. So I now will exhaust my Bishop's Uniform to heal equal to the number of resources in my hand, which is 2. So I'm back down to 1 damage. Followed by a face-down card. That card is drawing nearer. Force response after your turn... Oh, this is an obligation. After your turn begins, discard the top card of your deck. Place 1 pursuit countered on pursued by the pass for each printed resource icon on this card. Ew. Alter ego action. Discard an identity-specific card from your hand to discard this card. Yikes, okay. Well, I gotta deal with that now. How do I want to do this? Well, the good news is I have X23 in my hand. She is really good at defeating enemies. Bad news is I have Side by Side, which is one of my Sidekick cards, but I don't have Sidekick, so this does nothing for me at the moment. So I guess I will use Side by Side and the Power of Leadership to pay for... Oh, Shadow King attacked me, so I have to choose an ally with the most stored, which is Cables. That's 2, and I can either discard him or place that threat on the main scheme. So the main scheme is going to go up to 5. And then I'm going to use Side by Side and Stored Energy to play X23. After X23 attacks and defeats an enemy, I get to ready her. So let's go Bishop. Yeah, Bishop will attack Shadow King for 2, and that's going to exhaust Bishop. And then X23 is going to attack Shadow King, and that will deal her 1 damage, but that will defeat the Shadow King, so she will be readied after that. And that's going to defeat the Shadow King, putting him in the victory display. Now, Cable is going to thwart the Heart of the Empire with 2 thwart. This will complete the Heart of the Empire. And after Cable thwarts and defeats a side scheme, this is a side scheme, I get to draw a card. So a card comes into my hand. Hey, there's my suit up. Okay, and then the Heart of the Empire says, when defeated, the first player reveals a random set-aside prelate minion, deal each other player an encounter card, flip this card over. So in multiplayer, other characters would get an encounter card, but this is not multiplayer, so I don't get one. I just get a random prelate minion. So this now flips over to the Towering Citadel, which is the exact same thing, except it has 1 more threat and 1 more acceleration icon, and threat can still not be removed while a prelate minion is in play. So this comes into play with 3. And I get another random prelate minion. Let's roll the dice once again. If I roll a 5 or 6, I will just re-roll. That's a 4. So the prelate minion we get is Mikhail Rasputin. Mikhail Rasputin has toughness 225, victory 3. Mikhail Rasputin engages the first player, force interrupt when Mikhail Rasputin attacks you, deal 1 damage to your identity. That's not that bad. I suppose I could have X23 attack Mikhail Rasputin to deal another 3 damage, but then I feel like that's kind of a waste. It would only get rid of the tough, and I really want to get rid of this drawing nearer. I can discard an identity specific card from my hand to discard. Let's flip Bishop over. So now I'm in Alter Ego mode, and they're gonna scheme. I'm okay with them completing the main scheme once because I'm still on Apocalypse 2. I can go up to 4. And then when I flip over to Lucas Bishop, I can add a temporal card from my discard pile into my hand. Let's add... I guess I'll go with a supercharged. I'll add that to my hand. And I will discard energy conversion to get rid of the drawing nearer. And I will just keep Suit Up in my hand for next turn. That way I can do my Suit Up stuff and get out my ally and my whatever it's called. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. Relatively good idea. So everything is going to unexhaust. I'm going to draw back my hand size of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards back into my hand. I have Bishop's Rifle, Side by Side Inspired, Power of Leadership, and Side by Side again. So if only I had... I am shocked I have not gotten any of my signature allies. I believe they were called Randall and someone else. That's interesting. Okay, so main scheme gets 3 this time. It's up to 8, so it's still not completed because the X value for the completion is equal to Apocalypse's health value, which is 9 currently. Next it will be 10, then it will be 11. Now Bishop is going to scheme for, not Bishop, Apocalypse is going to scheme for 2 plus 1. That's going to complete the main scheme, and then that is going to... When the main scheme is completed, remove all threats from it, ignoring any crisis icons, remove this card from the game, and reveal Apocalypse 3. So Apocalypse 3 is now out. He is the same thing, basically, 2 scheme, but 3 attack, as opposed to the 2 attack of Apocalypse. Study, toughness, and the force interrupt is the same. So then Mikhail Rasputin is going to scheme for 2. He has no villainous, and after Mikhail attacks you, so I still don't take a damage, and now I'm going to reveal a card, and that card is Wolf Among Sheep. When revealed, the prelate minion activates against you, otherwise Apocalypse activates against you, so now he's going to scheme for another 2, and that's okay. So it's my turn now. I actually really want to play Bishop's Rifle instead of the Suit Up, but let's see what we can do. Let's go Power of Leadership for the Suit Up. This is an alter ego action. Search your deck and discard power for an ally, and an upgrade that can be attached to that ally. Add them to your hand. So I am looking for Sidekick, and not in here. Sidekick. There we go. And a signature ally. I think I'm going to go with Malcolm, because it seems like I really want to do damage more at the moment. Malcolm and Randall are basically the same exact characters, except one of them has 2 Tort and 1 attack, and one of them has 1 Tort and 2 attack. They both have 3 HP, and they both can discard a resource from their hand to ready them, and if they have the printed physical for Malcolm, I get to heal 1 from him, and a energy, I think? I'm not sure. I don't remember what Randall has, but if he has a different resource, you get to heal 1 from him. So same thing, basically. So I now have Sidekick and Malcolm in my hand. I don't think I need any other alter ego actions, so I might as well flip back over. I suppose... No, I don't need to heal. I'm at 1 damage. Yeah. So now it's just a matter of paying for these cards, and unfortunately that will take up all 3 of my cards in my hand. So let's use 4. Goodbye Bishop's Rifle. I will see you later to play Malcolm, and I will attach Sidekick to him. So Sidekick attaches to an identity-specific ally you control, max 1 per deck. Attached ally gets plus 2 hit points and is your Sidekick. Response after I make a basic recovery, heal 2 damage from the attached ally. So that doesn't seem like it's that much, and it kind of isn't. But there is Sidekick specific support in Side by Side. Hero action, ready your Sidekick to ready your hero and choose 1 to heal 1 damage from both characters, or both characters get plus 1 thwart and plus 1 attack till the end of the phase, and that only costs 2, which is incredible value. So, let's actually do some stuff now. I will use Bishop to attack Mikhail Rasputin to get rid of the tough. I did not recover, so I am unexhausted. Let's have Malcolm deal 2 damage to Mikhail Rasputin, which will not destroy him, and I will still take 1 consequential damage from that attack. I gotta keep in mind that what his HP total actually is. And then X23 is gonna attack Mikhail Rasputin, which will not exhaust her, because this will defeat Mikhail Rasputin. causing her to be readied, but she now only has one use left. But Mikhail Rasputin goes into the victory display, and at that point I could thwart the towering citadel, but it won't complete it, so I kind of want to save Cable for when I will defeat it. That way I will draw a card from that. So I think I'm just not going to use Cable. As for, oh, I could use X-23 actually. I could use X-23 to thwart once, and then Cable could thwart and finish it off. And they would both be defeated by consequential damage, so Gene Pool would not get threat put on it. But I kind of like having a board built up just a little bit for the next turn, because when I complete it, another prelate minion will come out, and I want to be able to rush it down quickly. So that's going to be the end of my turn, and I'm going to draw back up to 5. And 3 copies of Advanced Suit does not help me. Actually, it kind of does, actually. It might actually help me. So, main scheme is going to get 3 because of the 2 acceleration icons, so it's up to 7 out of 10. Apocalypse is going to attack for 3. I'm not going to block this. Yeah, I'm not going to block this, so he's attacking for 3, plus that's a total of 5 damage. I'm up to 6. And I now discard the top 5 cards of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And any resources get placed into my... Ooh, lots of resources getting placed in my hand. And now I get to use Bishop's Uniform to heal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resources in my hand. So I'm back down to 1 damage again. Bishop is absolutely busted once you have Bishop's Uniform. Incredible that they actually let you do that. It's so ridiculous. And then... nothing else happens, so we reveal a card, Sinister Strike. In hero form, place 1 pursuit counter on Pursued by the Past. Did I need to place one initially from the Drawing Nearer? No, this is only after my turn begins. Oh wait, after my turn begins, I should have done this actually, because I would have gotten it during the villain phase. Alright, well it's too late to do it now, or well it's too late to do it in the correct way that I would have done it when it comes to which card would have been discarded, but let's just do that now so it will get 1. And then I already put 1 just now from Sinister Strike, so if it has any counters on it, this card gains no, the villain attacks you. Okay. So unfortunately Apocalypse is going to attack me again. I still don't want to block this, and Bishop's Uniform is now exhausted, so I can't use that anymore. But that's okay. So 3 plus Star plays 2 threats on Gene Pool, so this is back up to 4. So those minions will have Quick Strike, but that's no boost, so I take 3 damage. That's the end of his turn. Now it's my turn. I don't have any beginning of turn stuff, I don't believe. So let's do some stuff. I don't have Inspired. I do have 3 Advanced Suits. All I have is Advanced Suits, so I guess I might as well just place 1 on each of my characters. And as for what Advanced Suit actually does, attached to an X-Force or X-Men ally, max 1 per ally. Response after an ally defeats a minion or side scheme. Discard 1 card from your hand, heal 1 damage from the attached ally for each resource on that card. So luckily I have a bunch of stuff with double resources on them, so I can defeat things fairly easily. So let's use Bishop to thwart for 2 on the Towering Citadel. No. I'm going to use Malcolm to thwart 1. I only need 1 to be thwarted from it. So Malcolm will take 1 damage, and he is down to 3 HP left. And then I'm going to have Cable thwart the Towering Citadel, which will defeat the Towering Citadel, so I can use Advanced Suit to discard a card. And that will heal 2 damage from Cable, so he's still going to take 1 Retaliate, but then that will keep him alive. And because he defeated a side scheme, I get to draw a card, and now the Towering Citadel is defeated, and this goes on to the Tyrant's Throne. So the Towering Citadel goes away. Tyrant's Throne has 3 acceleration icons and 4 threat, and I once again get another prelate minion. So there's 3 left, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the die roll. 2, so that's going to be Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister has Retaliate... Retaliate 1. Yikes, alright. I gotta keep that in mind. Toughness and Villainous and Victory 3. Oh, he's Villainous as well. Alright, so how do I want to defeat him? Malcolm is exhausted. Cable is exhausted. I need to deal 5 damage. Let's use a Stored Energy. I'm going to use Malcolm's ability. Discard a resource card from your hand to ready Malcolm. If that card had a printed physical resource, which this does, I get to heal 1 damage from Malcolm, limit once per phase, so I can't do that again. But now that he is readied, I'm going to have Malcolm attack Mr. Sinister to get rid of the tough. But this guy does have Retaliate, so I will now be exhausted once again. I will take 1 Retaliate damage and 1 consequential damage. But the Sidekick gives me plus 2 HP, so I'm still alive, and I am now exhausted. And then Bishop is going to attack Mr. Sinister, which will deal me 1 damage. I'm up to 5. And that is going to deal 2 damage to Mr. Sinister. But then I can now use X23 to attack Mr. Sinister, and this will defeat Mr. Sinister, so X23 does not take the retaliate damage. It will also ready her, and I will use the advanced suit. After attached ally defeats a minion or side scheme, this is still a minion. I can discard a card from my hand and heal 1 for each resource icon on that card. So I am going to heal 2 from defeating Mr. Sinister, and then I'm going to take 1 consequential damage. I was exhausted, but now I'm ready because I defeated an enemy. So X23 is still alive, Mr. Sinister is gone, and this goes in a victory display. I'm fairly certain I did that correctly. So, what can I do now? I guess I will just use my stored energy and my strength on my supercharge. Action, discard a resource card from your hand, place 1 charge counter here for each resource icon on that card. And this is not once per phase, so I can just do 2 this turn to give it 4, which is the max. Hero interrupt, when you make a basic attack, discard supercharge, you gain plus 2 attack for this attack, and for each charge counter here to a maximum of plus 8 attack. So anything after 4 would not give me any more attack anyways. And then X23 could do something else, but it's kind of pointless too. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of pointless too, so I'm just going to end my turn there, and that's... do I want to discard Phoenix? My ally limit has been reached, so I don't really see myself playing her anytime soon. I'm not going to chump block with anyone, so yeah, let's just discard Phoenix and draw back my hand. Ooh, they're going to get another encounter card, so I got Randall finally, and another supercharged. Hey, lead from the front and inspired, but then they get a face down card. Luckily, their prelate minion is gone. Oh, I did not thwart out the gene pool, so they could have quick strike, guys. And the 5th card, lead from the front. Okay, so Age of Apocalypse gets 4, so this is going to complete the Age of Apocalypse again. So now we are on to Apocalypse Stage 4, so if it completes 1 more time, I will be defeated. I probably should have thwarted that out just a little bit. 3 scheme, 3 attacks, Stalwart Toughness, and his attacks gain Overkill, and if the main scheme completes this time, the players lose the game. He is going to attack for 3. I'm not going to block this. Yeah, even if he boosts for 3, I will be up to 11 damage and I will still be alive. Unfortunately, I don't have any resource cards in my hand, so Bishop's Uniform is not going to be healing me for that much. Unless I... Star, attach this card to Apocalypse. Okay, so the boost gives him +1 attack. Apocalypse attacks gain Overkill, which he already has, so this doesn't really do anything aside from the +1 attack, so he's attacking me for 4. I'm up to 9 damage. And then a quick strike from a infinite, I don't think would kill me. I think they only have 2 attack. It's been a while. I think they only had 2 though. So 1, 2, 3, 4 cards off the top of my deck are getting discarded. 2 resources, good enough. And I'm not going to count on a quick strike coming out, so I will exhaust my Bishop's Uniform to heal for 2. Now they get a face down card. First face down card is Synapse. Teamwork Dark Riders, 2, 1, 3. Forced to respond after Synapse attacks, you are confused. That's fine. And then the second one is the Fittest. +1 scheme, +1 attack, attached to the minion with the highest printed hit points and give it a tough status card. Otherwise, this card gains Surge. Attached enemy gets +5 hit points. Okay, that's less fine. So Synapse is now a 3, 2, 8, and they are tough. The question is, do I ignore them? They're going to confuse me every time I attack, and I would take 2 damage, but that's a reliable 2 damage I take every turn. They don't have Villainous. I think I'm relatively okay with that. I don't know, we shall see. Let's see what I deal with my hand. Actually, if they're only a 3, 2, 8, I can deal 8 damage with Bishop. I can just attack her and deal 10 damage if I get rid of my supercharged. So all I gotta do is get rid of the tough. Sure, let's have, what's his name? Malcolm attack to get rid of the tough. They don't have Retaliate, I don't believe. Yeah, they don't have Retaliate. And then Bishop is going to attack and discard the supercharge to deal 10 damage to her, so she is now defeated. Then I can just play another supercharged from my hand, and I can start charging that up whenever I feel like it. But when do I feel like it? That's the question. I think I am going to use a Power of Leadership to use a lead from the front to give all my characters +1 attack and +1 thwart till the end of the round. Yeah, or to the end of the phase. And then I can use Randall and Inspired for another lead from the front to do the same thing. So now all my guys have +1 attack and +1 thwart, or +2 attack and +2 thwart. So Cable now has 4 thwart, and I'm going to use that 4 thwart to thwart out the Tyrant's Throne. So when defeated, the first player reveals another random set-aside prelate minion. This is going to make No Longer Worthy out, and I get a prelate minion, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a 4, so Abyss is our prelate minion. And Cable defeated a side scheme. He will take 1 damage from that. I'm not going to discard a card to heal that damage, but I do get to draw a card because he defeated a side scheme. That is Suit Up. And now I'm going to discard a stored energy from my hand to ready Malcolm once per phase, and because I had a physical resource, I get to heal 1 damage from Malcolm as well. So now Malcolm, Abyss has toughness. Malcolm is going to attack Abyss, which will get rid of the toughness. And now X23 is going to attack Abyss, and she's going to take 1 consequential damage, but she has 5 attack at the moment, so that will defeat Abyss, who only has 5 attack. Victory 3, Abyss gets +2 hit points for each face-down card attached to him and engages the first player. Force response after Abyss activates against you. Attach the top card of your deck to him face down. Okay, so he has not activated against me yet. He's a 2/2/5, so he still only has 5 hit points, so X23 will defeat Abyss, putting him in the victory display. Main scheme is still at 0, so I don't need to thwart that out. I could thwart out Gene Pool, but I don't really feel like it, so I think that's going to be the end of my turn. I'm going to save X23 to attack Apocalypse when that tough is not there. So Suit Up, I'm going to discard and draw back up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everything unexhausts. And I'm at 7 damage. I don't have... I do have energy conversion. Oh, I can only take 3 damage from this attack. Okay, so the main scheme is only going to get 1 now because we are at the... we have passed the Tyrant's Throne, which gave it 3 acceleration icons, so it has no acceleration icons now. It only has 1. So Apocalypse is going to attack with his 4 attack, but I'm going to use my energy conversion, which limits the damage I take by down to 3, and I'm going to be able to shuffle all my resources in my graveyard, which is only 2, not that much, but they go back into my deck. And now I can only take 3 damage from this attack that deals boost. Attach this to Apocalypse. So he's only going to deal 3 damage to me, so I'm up to 10 damage out of 12. So a quick strike actually would kill me, but I could still just defend. I'm open. Oh, no. I have Bishop's Uniform. Okay, so I'm going to discard 2 cards from the top of my deck after I shuffle 2 cards and no energies, unfortunately, but I will use my Bishop's Uniform to heal for 1, 1. So I took 3 minus 1, that's 2, I'm up to 9 damage. Followed by a face-down card. That face-down card is Gauntlet. 2 attack, 2 scheme, 5 HP, Teamwork Dark Riders. Force response after Gauntlet attacks you, discard an upgrade you control. Wow, that sucks. That's terrible. But now it's my turn. And I have a lead from the front. I have a Concussive Blast. I don't think that he has any form of Retaliate. Stalwart, Toughness, no Retaliate. So all my guys can attack him pretty safely. So let's go... Bishop attacks Apocalypse to get rid of the tough. This guy doesn't have guard. There are no guards as far as I know. And No Longer Worthy, by the way, says attach to Apocalypse and heal 5 HP from him, but he had 0 damage, so he doesn't heal any. He cannot take any damage while a Prelate minion is in play. Did I defeat a Prelate minion? Yeah. Wow, I just straight up don't remember doing that. Anyways, Force Interrupt. Ignore the Force Interrupt on the main scheme, so once the main scheme when Apocalypse would be defeated, that thing no longer applies. Force Interrupt, when Apocalypse is defeated, the players win the game. So now all I gotta do is defeat him, and I think I can do that this turn. So Bishop attacked and got rid of the tough. Now I'm going to use an energy and a command authority to play Concussive Blast. Hero action attack deals 6 damage to an enemy. If I paid for this using a resource card, I get to ready Bishop. So he's going to take 6 damage, and I will once again be readied. So I might as well attack again, dealing another 2 damage, and I'm exhausted once again. Unfortunately, my supercharge does not have any, what's it called, charges on it, but I think I'm good. He has 8 HP out of 11, 3 attack. 3 attack from Cable will defeat Bishop, or will defeat Apocalypse. He only has 11 hit points, so he is defeated and I win. Okay, you know what? I think I really like that. I think that was a really fun fight. The ways that you have to progress through the Tyrant's Throne and all that stuff is very different from all the other fights in this game. It almost feels like another like I said, it feels more like a Lord of the Rings fight instead of a Marvel Champions fight, but it doesn't feel so different from Marvel Champions that I don't feel like I'm playing Marvel Champions, right? Like in, what's it called? The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box. There were a couple of fights in there where I'm like, this is not really, it doesn't really feel like you're playing Marvel Champions, right? It feels like you're playing a completely different game and you gotta learn the rules of this game and you gotta figure out how this thing works. Whereas this, you're still just killing stuff, thwarting, and doing all that stuff. You just have a different way of progressing through the boss fight as opposed to just being able to rush them down. So that's pretty cool. I think I like this. I think that it's probably a lot easier in multiplayer just due to the fact that acceleration icons are not per person. So once you are at 3 acceleration icons, it doesn't actually affect anything, or it doesn't affect that much because the main scheme could go up to X per person. So even at stage 1, at 2 people, it can go up to 18. So 3 out of 18 is not that bad, whereas 3 out of 9 is pretty huge, right? So that's something to think about. And as for, what is expert mode? Apocalypse 2 and Apocalypse 3. Apocalypse 3 only for expert mode. Okay, so I think that's way too punishing. The idea of trying to do this in expert mode sounds like a horrifically bad experience. I don't think that would be fun because you start with Apocalypse 3 instead, so you can only let it fail once and then you're screwed after that. You're straight onto Apocalypse 4. So you have to devote resources to thwarting out the Age of Apocalypse. Whereas in standard mode, I did get to just focus on the actual quest that I'm going on. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't think I would want to do this in Expert. I'd have to actually try this in Expert to know. So I might as well try that at some point. But I don't think that would be a pleasant experience. I don't see why the Infinites are the modular set that is suggested for this. They didn't really play a role, like, at all. So if I do replay this, I probably won't use the Infinites just because I don't like keeping track of the gene pool. And, I mean, it's fine. For Unis, it's a fine thing. But for anyone else, I'm like, why am I doing this? The prelates are fine. They're not game-changing. I don't feel like I'm having that different of an experience based off who is out. And it does kind of feel kind of samey, being like, oh yes, another 5 HP minion has come out. There's no escalation in terms of threat when you are moving through the heart of the, or when you're moving through the heart of the Empire onto the Tyrant's Throne. You would think that they'd get harder as you're getting closer, but I suppose because you reveal a random one, they all have to be the same balance. So that's interesting. It kind of makes it easier to beat. I guess the escalation just comes from the new acceleration icons. I guess that's where that comes from. And as for Bishop, I think he's absolutely busted if you have his uniform out. I think that I would have been dead several times over if I did not have that uniform. I can 100% see a scenario where the energy absorption activates, and then my Bishop's uniform is on top of my deck, and it just goes to my graveyard, and I'm upset because I'm like, well, can't get that back now. Oh, it is temporal though. Wait a second, it's temporal, so I could, if it gets discarded, I could flip over to Lucas Bishop. After I change to this form, add a temporal card in your discard pile to your hand. So never mind, I could do that. Okay, I see. Interesting. So as far as, yeah, Malcolm, not, I mean, he's more interesting than I gave him credit for. The ability to keep him alive even without the sidekick is fine. I just wish that he just feels like he's stats. He's just numbers you throw at something, right? He's not something like a two-gun kid or whatever who has a really interesting effect. So when I do eventually make a sidekick deck, I'm still not sure what to do with that, but I think I already said I want to try it with Jubilee because I think she has enough events in her deck that you don't really need to add more. Plus the colorless one's multi-talented. That one's like just covers everything. So that's fine. So I'm going to try Jubilee with Sidekick because Wolverine is actually an interesting ally. And I don't know who else yet. But that's it for this game. Hopefully I will see you in the next one when I think I fight Dark Beast is what he's called. And I'm probably going to use Nightcrawler for that because they're both like different looking mutants, right? They don't look like Bishop or Dr. Xavier, Magneto, or whatever they're called, right? They're like different colored skin and stuff, and Fury and whatever. So I figure I'm gonna play those two against each other, which leaves Iceman, I believe, for the 5th and final boss of the Age of Apocalypse, and I think I'm okay with that. So hopefully I will see you there, and that you had fun watching, and that I will see you next time. Goodbye.